The night everything blew up, it started with a sound I still hear in my sleep, the sharp crack of a slap, cutting through music, laughter, and glass walls. 1 second I was invisible, like always the next. I was the reason an entire room went silent. I wasn't supposed to be there, not in that place, not among people who smelled like money and confidence, and I definitely wasn't supposed to be the old man everyone looked through instead of at. But that's how my life had worked for a long time. People saw what they wanted to see, and what they saw when they looked at me was someone small, harmless, disposable. Funny thing is, the girl who slapped me that night thought the same thing, and that mistake changed both our lives. Let me back up a little. My name's Marcus Hill. I'm 63, born and raised in a neighborhood most people only drive through with their windows locked. I wasn't always broke, I wasn't always invisible. I worked construction for 35 years, raised 3 boys, buried a wife way too early, and watched the world slowly decide I was no longer useful. An injury took my job. Medical bills ate my savings, and pride kept me from asking for help until it was too late. So, yeah, some nights I sat outside nice places, not because I wanted pity, but because hunger doesn't care about dignity. You learn a lot about people when you're standing at the bottom looking up, you know what I mean? That night I was sitting outside a rooftop restaurant called Aurelius, all glass and gold, the kind of place where the doorman's watch costs more than my old truck ever did. I had a cup of noodles still warm, and I was minding my business when she stepped out of a black car. Tall heels, silver dress hair perfect like it had never known humidity or stress. She looked like she belonged there so badly it almost hurt to watch. I asked her softly if she could spare anything. I didn't touch her, didn't move toward her. Just spoke, her face twisted like I'd insulted her mother. She yelled something about ruining her night, about smells, about how I didn't belong near people like her. Then her hand came out of nowhere. The slap wasn't even the worst part. The worst part was the way she looked at me after, like I wasn't human, like I was trash someone forgot to take out. People stared. Nobody stepped in. Security hesitated. I stayed seated because what was I going to do, fight a woman half my age in a dress worth more than my monthly food budget? I just picked up my noodles and waited for the moment to pass. What I didn't see was the balcony above us where 3 men stood watching everything unfold. I didn't know them yet, but they knew me, or at least they were about to. They were. The girl stormed inside like she'd won something. A few minutes later, security asked me to move along, polite but firm. I was already packing up when one of the men from upstairs came down. Mid-30s, sharp suit eyes, tired in a way money can't fix. He knelt in front of me right there on the sidewalk and said, "Sir, are you okay?" I almost laughed. No one had asked me that in years. I said I'd live. He handed me a card, no name, just a number, and told me to call it tomorrow morning. Then he stood up and went back inside. I didn't call, not right away. Life teaches you not to trust sudden kindness. But the next morning, hunger won that argument. I called. A woman answered and told me to come to an office downtown. No explanation. I figured I didn't have much to lose. That office belonged to a family everyone knew, but no one really understood. The Calderons. Old money, new money, all of it. The man who knelt in front of me was named Ethan Calderon. His brothers Lucas and Aaron joined us a few minutes later. They told me the truth without dressing it up. The girl from the night before, her name was Valerie Knox. She was dating Ethan. Or at least she thought she was. Their father had asked them to quietly observe her character. Not her resume, not her smile, her character. How she treated people who couldn't offer her anything. I was part of that test. I didn't volunteer. I didn't even know. But my pain became a mirror, and Valerie didn't like what it showed. They apologized. Not in a flashy way, just real. They offered to help me medical care, a place to stay, work if I wanted it. I said yes because pride had already cost me enough. Over the next few weeks, my life started changing in ways I didn't expect. Physical therapy for my leg, a small apartment, a part-time job managing maintenance for one of their community centers. Nothing glamorous but honest work. For the first time in years, I felt steady. Valerie's life, on the other hand, exploded. Ethan ended things that same night. No yelling, no drama, just done. A video of the incident hit social media not because the Calderons leaked it, but because someone else always does. She lost her job, her friends vanished, and suddenly she was on the other side of the glass looking in. I won't pretend I felt bad at first. There was a part of me that felt validated, like the universe finally blinked and said, "Yeah, I saw that too." Months passed. I focused on my work, on healing, on being useful again. One afternoon, I was overseeing a food drive at the community center when I saw her, Valerie. No heels, no silver dress. Jeans, sneakers, hair pulled back, eyes tired. She was volunteering, handing out boxes, avoiding eye contact. I recognized her instantly. She recognized me a second later. Her face went white. She froze like a kid caught stealing. I thought she'd run. Instead, she walked over slow, careful, like I might bite. "I'm sorry," she said, voice shaking. No excuses, no explanation, just sorry. I didn't answer right away. I looked at her hands red from lifting boxes, and for the first time I didn't see the girl who slapped me. I saw someone who had fallen hard and lived. I told her I accepted the apology. Not because she deserved it, but because carrying anger is heavy and I was tired. She started volunteering there regularly. We didn't talk much after that, but I watched her. She listened. She worked. She didn't flinch from people who smelled like the street anymore. Change like that isn't loud. It's quiet and uncomfortable and slow. I respected it. A year later, I stood on a small stage at the center during an anniversary event. The Calderons were there. So was Valerie, standing in the back, unsure if she belonged. I told my story. Not to shame her, not to praise myself, but to talk about how easy it is to forget someone's humanity when you're afraid of losing status. I said the real test of character isn't how you treat people above you, it's how you treat the ones who can't fight back. The room was silent. Valerie cried. I didn't look at her. Here's the part people argue about. Some say Valerie got what she deserved. Others say she was destroyed for one mistake. Me, I think both things can be true. She made a cruel choice. She paid a heavy price, and then she chose to change. That doesn't erase the past, but it does complicate the ending. Life isn't clean like movies want it to be. Today, I'm doing okay. I walk without a cane most days. I manage 3 centers now. My sons are proud of me again. Valerie moved away, started over somewhere. No one knows her story. Ethan married someone else. The world kept turning. But that slap, that moment, it taught all of us something uncomfortable. That power isn't always loud. That dignity doesn't come from clothes or money. And that the people you step on while climbing might be the ones holding the ladder. So let me ask you this and really think about it before you answer. Was what happened to Valerie justice, or was it cruelty wearing a nicer outfit? Have you ever judged someone too quickly or been judged when no one knew your full story? Drop your thoughts in the comments. Disagree with me if you want. Tell me what you've seen out there. Because these conversations matter, and pretending they don't is how people like me end up invisible in the first place.